welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. We continue with football. The group stage of the Euro 2020 Football Championship concluded a short while ago, with the 2016 finalists France and Portugal playing to a 2-2 draw at the Ferenc Puskás Stadium in their Group F encounter. In our Group F encounter, which took place simultaneously, Germany twice came from a goal down to draw 2-2 with Hungary at the Allianz Arena. So following the completion of the group stage, this is how the groups stand. Of course, in Group A, we have Italy and Wales advancing. Italy on 9 points and Wales on a total of 4 points. Group B looks like this. Belgium in first position, of course, having played 3 matches. They have a total of 9 points, and Denmark advancing with 3 points. Group C, Netherlands, they have topped their group with a total of 9 points, and Austria in second position advancing as well with 6 points. This is how Group D is looking. England have been brilliant, of course, in the tournament. They advance in first position on a total of 7 points, and Croatia, they get by on 4 points. In Group E, we have Sweden in the top spot with 7 points, and Spain advancing as well with 5 points. France and Germany, they go through, of course, France on 5 points and Germany 4. In terms of the best third place teams, this is how that table looks. So we have Portugal, Czech Republic, Switzerland and Ukraine. Of course, this is the ranking of the third place teams, and they get by having been the best third place teams. The round of 16, that kicks off on Saturday. Joining us now to recap the group stage and preview the round of 16 fixtures is former Trinidad and Tobago international Brent Sancho. Brent, welcome.
Hi Mariah, hi Lance, how are you guys today?
Really good. Of course, some exciting stuff taking place. Brent, I start with you. The teams that have advanced, well deserved, right?
Yeah, I would say that well deserved for much part of it. I tell you what, we've experienced some really good football, high level, high quality of football. You know, I was always wondering the type of levels we would see, in particular because of the COVID and the rigorous domestic season that the majority of the players in this competition would have experienced, whether or not they could turn it on in this tournament. And my answers have certainly, my questions have been answered certainly by the type of football that we've seen. So yes, it has been a good tournament, some outstanding displays, but more importantly, I think what we've seen from the favorites has been more or less expected. And it really sets up an interesting knockout phases, and I'm looking forward to that.
Let's talk a bit about Germany, Hungary today. Of course, that 2-2 draw. Germany coming from behind twice to draw. What did you think about that match? Of course, the performance overall.
Look, I think if we are to talk about a team that has impressed in this tournament, it has to be Hungary. They have been absolutely fabulous. When the group announcements were made, everyone expected Hungary to be the whipping boys of that group, and they have not been that. And not only that, they have caused a bunch of surprises. And of course, the way they've gone about their business and how they've approached against the 3 top teams in their group have been nothing short of outstanding, and they deserve all the plaudits that they get. Germany, again, carries on in the same vein that they will coming into this tournament, a hit and miss team. And we've seen the highs and lows of Germany so far, but they have survived and they've now moved into the knockout phases of the competition.
Yeah, Brent, I'm not sure how much of that 2-2 draw you saw with Portugal, the defending champions, and France, but the referee appeared to be making a lot of headlines there with a lot of crucial decisions in the outing.
Well, what's amazing about it, Lance, is that he has help. It's called VAR. And VAR seemed to be non-present here today. I thought they were horrendous decisions. Mm-hmm. And in the last minute, the foul on Kingsley Coleman, I think that was a foul, and that was a penalty, by the way. That one wasn't called at all. And you have to wonder, and I know a lot of people question VAR, I do as well. As much as I encourage it and I embrace it, I still have my question marks. But when you look at the penalty calls today in that game in particular, I thought it was horrendous.
Yeah, Portugal have stuttered a bit in their title defense. But of course, this is just the group stage. The knockouts will be the crucial part of the tournament. We know how efficient Cristiano Ronaldo can be. Can Portugal go all the way for the second time in a row?
Well, they've shown, again, similar to Germany, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think Portugal's biggest problem is balance. They're not having, and particularly in the middle of the park, the midfield balance is just not there. Bruno Fernandes has had a horrible tournament thus far, a player we would have expected a lot from. João Felix have not even been present. So you have to wonder that within the middle of the park, within the challenges that Portugal is having in that area in particular, yesterday was a little bit better. I thought the combination of Sanchez and Martino was a lot better than what we saw from Fernandes and Carvalho. But with what I've seen so far from Portugal, particularly in the middle of the park, I just feel that it's not going to be enough to move forward when they get to some very, very tricky fixtures in the knockout phases.
Yeah, of course, France are the reigning World Cup champions. Let's look at the draw now for the knockout stage kicking off this weekend. Some very intriguing matches there. Wales, Denmark, Italy against Austria, the Netherlands, who played well against the Czech Republic, Belgium against Portugal. Belgium #1 in the world at the moment, says FIFA, against Portugal, the defending champions. Croatia, Spain, France against Switzerland, and look at that, England against Germany, Sweden, Ukraine as well. Let's start with that Belgium-Portugal match. You've already assessed Portugal. Belgium have some real quality players. Lukaku seems to be finding the net every time he turns up. How does that Belgium-Portugal clash grab you?
Yeah, I would have to obviously landslide my edge towards Belgium, and it's simply because I think Kevin De Bruyne is now starting to heat up. We're seeing glimpses from Eden Hazard, and as you rightfully mentioned, Romelu Lukaku seemingly can't do anything wrong since he's left the red jersey of Manchester United. So one would suggest that what they have shown so far, and again, it hasn't been perfect by any stretch of the imagination from Belgium, but I think what they possess and what they've shown so far in the tournament is enough for me to point towards them moving past Portugal in this phase. And if you have any questions about that, you just have to picture Pepe going up against Lukaku, and I know who I will favor in that battle.
Yeah, the French team, obviously, with a lot of quality. There are people who rate the France team as the best team in the world at the moment. The Swiss have had their moment so far in the tournament. Your thoughts on the challenge that the Swiss may be able to provide for France?
Yeah, Swiss has been competent, and that's the best. I think they've played to their capacity from what we've seen. But it's all about France, Lance. And what I've seen from France so far, they've really struggled with their fluidity. They've struggled to show a bit of what they're really about. They have, as you rightfully said, easily the best team on paper in the tournament, but they're struggling to play as a team. And again, it goes back to that question, of course, having the best individuals doesn't necessarily mean that you have the best team. And France, for the most part, they've looked pensive and almost like they're playing with the handbrakes up. We have not seen the best of France so far in the tournament. And look, we've been covering football for a long, long time here on SportsMax, and you would know when you get to the knockout stages, suddenly a team would show a different side of them from what they've seen in the group stages. And I suspect if the France team is to show up in what we expect and hope from them, I think they would blow past Switzerland and they could have a deep run in the tournament.
Definitely, Brent. Couldn't agree with you more. Well, of course, England, Germany, a very mouth-watering one. Who has the edge?
That's a difficult one. Both my wife and my friends support England, so I have to watch what I'm saying here. And I obviously have a lot of English friends, but I just think that it's such a close-knit battle. It's almost like it is a derby game, Germany and England. We all know the history and the rivalry between the two. So all that I've said about Germany in the past, I am very sure if one fixture they're going to turn up for in this tournament is to beat the English. And so with that being said, I think they have a little bit more in their locker to get that result. Not saying that they're a better team than the English, no, by no stretch of the imagination, I don't believe so, but I think they'll have a bit more fire in their belly to get a result. Again, similar to the French team, I think the English seem to be struggling to find their best way to play. And I think that Germany can show up with a performance like what they did against the Portuguese and do the same to the English.
Yeah, Brent, you may know that I'm a German fan, but I must say that I've tempered my expectations in recent years because of a fall off in their performances. Not unrelated, I think, to the fact that they don't have the kind of goal scorer that we have known Germany to have in the past. You look at the Klose, Gerd Müller, Voller, Rummenigge, Oliver Bierhoff. Germany always has a striker they can depend on. And right now, that player isn't there.
Yeah, it's not there. And even when they were at their best against Portugal, a lot of it was down to very good team play.
Yes.
They pressured high up the park. They played on their front foot. And they destroyed Portugal just by the way they approached the game. And you're right. From a clinical perspective, the man that you would expect to put the ball in the back of the net, that has been lacking. And despite that, Lance, and despite that fact, I still feel against an English team where they would have the fire in the belly and they would put in a similar type of performance like we saw against Portugal, I think they'll get past.
Brent, always good talking to you on the SportsMax Zone. We'll be in touch.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, so maybe it is, Mariah, that Brent has a little more confidence in this German team than I have as a German supporter, because I know what he's saying, though, because they certainly get up for an England game. So I think they will do well there. But I've had to temper my expectations from this German team, because this is not the Germany I know.
I've always told you I don't want you to support my teams.
Why not?
Because Lance, you temper your expectations. You give up too easily on your team.
I'm not giving up. I'm just tempering my expectations. Germany's still my team.
So you're supporting them,
yes,
but you're not expecting.
I will brace myself for disappointment. But I'm supporting them. I'm a German fan. Yeah.
All right, German fans.
I've not hopped off the banner.
Germany fans, get rid of him.